Yeah, all right. So let's get settled in. The first thing that I would love to do with y'all is a pranayama practice. Pranayama just means that we are doing a very concentrated, not concentrated, very mindful breathing practice. This is a practice, the one that I'm going to show you right now is a practice that I often do when I'm feeling especially stressed out. There's a lot going on in our world right now, and it can be very overwhelming. And so this particular pranayama practice really helps to bring balance back into the body and ease any anxiety that you may have. So I'm going to ask you to just find a comfortable seat. I have another folded blanket underneath my sit bones just to lift my hips a little bit higher than my knees so that my spine can be elongated. And if you have allergies right now or any breathing issues or you're pregnant, I would recommend just listening along, maybe practicing this particular pranayama practice later on after you have a baby or when your sinuses clear up a little bit. You can also take the time to just blow out your nose because this is going to be dedicated to our nostrils, and you'll understand what that means in a minute here. All right, so sitting up nice and tall, and we're going to bring our hands into what is it, like the surfer, like hang loose kind of hands. And then you're going to just wrap your first two fingers here and then use your ring finger and plug up. Actually, we'll use our thumb to plug up the right nostril and the left nostril. Just kind of practice that a couple of times. If this feels really awkward, some people like to just keep their fingertips open and place their middle finger on their forehead. That kind of bugs me. I don't know why. It just kind of distracts me. So just using your fingers here to plug up one nostril and then the other. And you can kind of play around with that and see how that feels. See if you need to blow your nose. And we're going to direct the breath. So the inhalation will always start and end on the right nostril. This particular practice, by the way, is called Nadi Shodhana. So if you are kind of like, I don't know what this is, like I mentioned before, it is really just a way to be mindful of the way that we direct the breath. And it just also kind of just levels out the nervous system. It just tells our brain, hey, everything's good, everything's chill. Okay, so let's start. So if you're not wanting to do the nostril plugging up thing, then just breathe in a very mindful way. Watch tracking the inhalations and the exhalations, and then trying to lengthen out the exhalations a little bit further. But if you want to join me with this Nadi Shodhana, then go ahead and place your right thumb. Actually, sorry, let's start here. Plug up your left nostril, and then just keep your right thumb kind of hovering over your right nostril. All right, so we're going to take a deep breath in through the right nostril. Plug up the right nostril and let the left nostril go and exhale out through the left nostril. Take a deep breath in through the left nostril, plug it up, and exhale through the right nostril. So that's one round. Inhale, plug up the right nostril, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Plug it up, exhale through the right. That's two. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale out the left. Inhale. Exhale out through the right. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. A few more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And one more time. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And go ahead and release. And just go ahead and breathe deeply through both nostrils. Maybe closing the eyes and noticing any sensations in the body. And I would recommend practicing Nadi Shodhana 2 or 3 rounds, maybe 5 rounds each. So, or 3 sets, 5 rounds each. Does that make sense? So just taking time, pausing in between each round to just breathe with both nostrils. And then when you're ready to start breathing, starting in through the right nostril, exhaling through the left, inhaling through the left, exhaling through the right. And that counts as one little repetition. Okay. So hopefully you enjoyed that particular pranayama. Again, it is one of my favorite ones to practice when I'm feeling really overwhelmed and just stressed out. That one really always brings me back to a state of just peacefulness and better able to face whatever it is I'm working through. Okay, so from here, go ahead and make your way onto the back. We're going to come into a bit of a heart opener. And I would like to kind of emphasize today the upper body just a little bit so that we can really get open through the chest and the heart center. And this really helps to enable us to bring more air deeper into the body, into the belly, and allows for that kind of immunity building properties, I guess, in this practice. Okay, so I have my little bolster here. Again, you can use a rolled up blanket or whatever is needed. And you're just going to go ahead and position the bolster so that your shoulders kind of come off of the top. And then you can bring a pillow or something to rest the head on. And maybe the legs extend long, or if your lower back isn't feeling good, you can keep the knees bent, maybe tumbling in towards each other. And then the arms in maybe a cactus shape on the floor so that the heart can open. But if that doesn't feel comfortable, then go ahead and place your arms wherever they feel most comfortable, maybe on the belly or over the heart, whatever you like. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes here to just get settled in. And get the timer going here. Allow your body to relax. Getting the sense that you could let your body melt into the earth. Checking in with the breath. Let it be smooth in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Seeing if you can let the breath travel deeper down and wide into the belly, into the hips. And if you're using your bolster underneath your heart, be feeling that openness across the front body, allowing the breath to travel in a little bit more deeply. Gently breathe some awareness back into your body. If you feel like you would like to stay here for longer, then please do. If you are wanting to switch it up and come into a different position, you're just going to simply roll over onto the right side. So the shoulders will still remain a little bit over on top of the edge of the bolster. And just going to rest the head right on top of the arms. If you want a little bit more support, you can also roll your blanket. The knees are going to stack and stay in the same direction as you're facing. So taking a few moments here to set that up for yourself. Again, if that's something that doesn't feel supportive for you, then find something that does. I'm just here to give some suggestions, so no worries at all if it doesn't work for you. Everybody is different and our mood is different, so maybe you want to just come into something different today, and that's okay. And just making sure that everything is settled, smoothing out the wrinkles in the clothes. And we'll get going. Feeling your body release and relax. Coming back to the awareness of the breath. Now that you're in the position with the bolster underneath your right side, feel that lift of the left side body. So breathing, imagine breathing, filling in the left lung, expanding that side of your body. So the heart is a three-dimensional shape in the body. So we're addressing the front, the sides, and eventually the back of the heart. moving as gently and slowly as you can, like you're waking up a sleeping child. Stretch over the bolster on the left side. Just rolling all the way over, resting your head on your left arm. So now the bolster is going to be down here along the rib cage. And again, you can use your blanket or whatever you need to create a little bit more support for the neck. And again, if this doesn't work for you, if you want to stay on your right side, maybe your left shoulder isn't feeling good today, totally stay however you would like. Again, I'm just making suggestions, so feel free to adjust as needed. Even in my person-to-person classes, I always want to invite you to take care of you, because I don't know what your experience is. So it's important that you listen to what your body is needing and requesting, and honoring those requests. So as you get settled in, again, just as I said before, making sure that you're comfy, cozy, and well supported. So over time, there's nothing worse than you're like, oh my goodness, I went into this position and I made a huge mistake. I'm stuck here. You're not stuck. You can always move in whatever you need. And if you just simply need to come up just seated to regroup, that's okay too. All right, so we're going to get started on this left side. Oftentimes when we are still, our mind tends to wander. And that's perfectly natural. It's what our mind does. But just noticing, whenever that happens, noticing, oh, I'm thinking about something. I'm thinking about my to-do list. There's something going on. Notice when you belly. And then following the breath back out again in reverse. Again, your mind might begin to wander. Acknowledge that you're thinking. And gently guide your awareness back to the breath. And this is something that you may need to repeat over and over again. Do so gently, do so kindly to yourself. Not admonishing, oh, darn it, I'm thinking again. It's okay. This is why we practice, right? to bring gentle movement back into the body. Fingers and toes get a little wiggle. Maybe stretching, yawning. And from here, we're going to flip on to the belly. Moving into kind of a cobra pose. If you're familiar with that pose in like a flow-based practice, it's basically like a bit of a back bend. But in restorative, that pose looks different because, of course, we're staying quite still in the pose. So check it out. If this, again, doesn't work for you, come back onto the back or whatever you need to do to get comfortable. But again, we're going to keep the shoulders above the top edge of the bolster. And again, if you want to grab a rolled up blanket to lift the head up, but you're going to turn your forehead down so that your belly, I kind of have a little bit less space to work with, but maybe you can extend your legs out back behind you, resting your forehead down on your stacked hands. You can turn your toes in a little bit so that the heels fall out to the sides. Basically, it's an upside down Shavasana shape. So in Shavasana, our toes usually kind of fall out to the sides. But here we're angling the toes inward a little bit more. And so what we're going for here is, like I said, a little compression of the upper and the abdominal walls. So this part of the body, and we get a little bit of compression right here. And that might constrict the breathing just a little bit. If that feels really uncomfortable for you, again, find something that works. Maybe take the bolster out of the equation and just simply rest flat on your belly. But if you're okay with that, just imagine that breath, or send your breath. You don't have to imagine it. Physically send your breath to that area. And that can be really nourishing for the inner organs. So try it out. Give yourself a few minutes or so to kind of settle into the pose. But at any point, if this doesn't feel like your jam, then you can absolutely adjust as needed. If you have landed in this kind of supportive cobra pose, continue to just rest the head, sending your breath to that upper abdominal area. Also paying attention to what's happening with the back body. So in between the shoulder blades, expand that area, sliding the shoulder blades apart. As I mentioned, breathing into that compression of the inner organs, that helps to tonify them. It helps to kind of activate them. Sometimes our inner organs can settle and get stagnant. And you feel it energetically when you're feeling kind of sluggish. What helps is to kickstart those inner organs by maybe doing some gentle twists or bringing a little bit of pressure on those areas. And it wakes them up, gives them a little nudge, and it says, hey, start working. And it helps the inner organs to work a little bit more efficiently and effectively. But of course, if you've just eaten something, it probably won't feel very good. So again, adjust as you need to. Coming back to the breath. Begin to deepen the breath. And a gentle movement, maybe that's just simply rocking your forehead over your hands from side to side. That pressure point right here at the third eye is a nice signal, a nice message to the brain, the nervous system that you are held and safe. And very, very slowly roll yourself up to seated. Grabbing your bolster or rolled up blanket. Moving into a supported bridge pose or legs up the wall. So I'll show you the two different variations. The first one is our supported bridge. Let me move so you can see. Actually, let me just move my crystal bowl. That's probably the simpler solution. And you're going to place, coming onto the back, placing the bolster right underneath the hips, and then allowing the knees to kind of tumble in towards each other. So you don't have to hold your muscles, you don't have to hold your legs up. So you're kind of tenting those knees together, feet are wide, and then hands by your sides or maybe over the belly, your choice. But the idea here is bringing the head lower than the heart. Option number 2 is bringing your bolster or rolled up blanket close to a wall, if you have one available around you, and placing that right there at the base of the wall. And sitting on top, this one's a little bit more less graceful to get into, so I'm just going to try not to knock over my stuff here, but anywho, we're going to send the legs up the wall, keeping the hips supported. And again, we want the hips higher than the heart. And in this case, with the legs up the wall, we're allowing that blood flow to kind of come back, giving the heart a rest. And this is really nourishing and very immunity boosting for the body, because it just gives our heart a chance to kind of take a rest. And we all need to give our heart a rest now and then, don't we? So this is a really beautiful one. If at any point your feet begin to fall asleep, then you can kind of slide the feet down, coming into a cobbler's pose or Baddha Konasana, or just coming out of it completely. So whatever you need to do, of course, you can adjust as needed, but I just do recommend having your hips a little bit elevated. All right, okay, so to gracefully come out of here, don't mind me. I'm just trying not to knock over my screen. I made it. Okay. So again, taking some, this one might take a little extra time to get set up. So do go ahead and make sure you're comfortable. Get my Miss Crystal balls or bowl set up. Crystal ball, that would be cool if I had one of those, huh? Alrighty. So getting settled in here in your inversion. As I mentioned, any inversion that you do is very beneficial for deep healing. So maybe that's why people like to do handstands, headstands, that sort of thing. I don't know. I don't find that those are particularly relaxing though, are they? Alrighty, so settle in, making sure that your shoulders are relaxed, your jaw is soft, so not clenching the teeth, maybe even opening and closing the mouth a couple of times. And just coming back to that ease, that flow of the breath. wherever you are. Into gentle movement. If you're against the wall, you can slide your legs over to one side. Moving very slowly and mindfully as you make your way into your final relaxation pose, whatever that looks like for you. One last suggestion with your bolster, keeping the knees slightly bent as you come lying down. This is really helpful for the low back if you experience a lot of tightness in that area. Keeping the knees bent is really helpful there. So finding whatever works best for you. You can take my suggestion or leave it. It's totally up to you. I think I'm going to use my bolster this time for a little seat. And as you make your way down into your Shavasana, whatever that looks like for you, making sure that you feel fully supported, comfortable, and at ease. So if you want to grab another blanket to place over you, if you're feeling a bit cool, the body cannot really soften or let go completely if we are even just a little bit cold. So I know that's harder to do nowadays, like now that it's getting to be summer, it's like really hot outside. But again, I mentioned earlier with the AC, sometimes that can give us a bit of a chill. So do take care of yourself. Grab a light sweater, whatever you need. Put on some socks. If you have an eye pillow, that might feel especially nice. Having just a little bit of weight over the eyes can really help you focus inward a little bit more. You have some weights for the hands that can give you a grounding sensation. Just like bean bags or bags of rice is as helpful for that. So making sure that you're feeling supported and comfortable. And we will finish out our class with this final relaxation. Begin to let go of anything that you might still be holding on to. Releasing the jaw, heart, the back teeth. Softening over the forehead, down over the temples, and allowing even the eyes to relax and fall away from the eyelids. Finding a place inside that knows peace. We all have peace inside, even when the outside world seems challenging and difficult. Every muscle fiber, every cell is full of breath, full of ease. The mind is awake, open and clear. If you notice that your mind is wandering, acknowledge that you're thinking. Once again, anchoring your awareness back to the breath, the body, the peacefulness deep within. Bring your awareness back into your space and back into the body. Deepen the breath. In your own time, begin to welcome gentle movement into the fingers and toes. Gently rock the head from side to side. As you feel ready, you'll be welcoming larger movements. Stretching arms overhead, reaching from the tips of the fingers to the ends of the toes. Stretching and yawning to release the jaw. Slowly making your way over to one side to rest the head on your arm. Tucking the knees into your chest. Taking a few moments here in stillness to reconnect with any intentions that you may have set for your practice, noting any sensations that you're feeling, any emotions or shifts in energy. Slowly and with great care, use your top arm to gently spiral yourself to seated, folding your hands at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Enjoying this feeling of peace that you've created by being still and quiet. And as you move throughout the rest of your day, the rest of your week, share this feeling with those in this world that need it. Namaste.